What's up, guys? This is the Everything and Anything podcast with your host, Mahlon. And you already know this is the most unprofessional podcast out there. No set agenda, no set design. We pretty much just do it. Don't forget to check out our Instagram at the Everything and Anything pod. Leave a like, a comment, a share. Check out my YouTube, Everything Anything podcast. Check out the website, buzzinenterprise.square.site. Don't forget to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or even Spotify. Any support helps, y'all. I really appreciate it. Any support helps. Today, I'm here with
Pregna.
And we're going to be talking about running away from your problems, which is a topic that not everybody wants to talk about, but we're going to be talking about it today. And as she said, her name is Pregna. This is one of my close friends from college. And yeah, this is the episode about running away from your problems. And to get started, we all know facing problems, is difficult. But sometimes we tend to run away from it because that's more of the easiest solution, if you would say, in a sense.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think we run away from our problems because we're scared of the uncertainty that comes with facing them, because you don't always know how to go about it. And even if you visualize certain ways you can go about it, then you visualize all the outcomes, and then obviously if you're worried, you're only going to focus on the negative outcome versus the better outcome,
Definitely.
So that just makes me unmotivated as fuck when I think I'm going to fail.
And I also feel like running away is our instinct. That's our natural instinct to just literally pick up everything and just run.
Yeah.
So.
And avoid.
Yeah. But and I would say personally, to get into what, before we even get into what we actually got to talk about, I would say when it comes down to me, I would put off the problem for the longest while. I necessarily wouldn't run away from it, but I would just put it off until it has to be solved, and then I will deal with it. But for the most part, I do deal with my problems, for most of them up front, the ones that could get dealt with. But for most of them, I don't know, I just put them shits off. I procrastinate because I know that I have time or some shit like that. I don't know.
It's not even that you have time. It's that even if something is due, you could end up making time even
Definitely.
Past the due date. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially at Lemoyne, yo. Especially at Lemoyne. This shit is crazy. You could definitely get away with so much. And I'm not saying that if any faculty at Lemoyne actually listens to my podcast, I'm not saying that so y'all could actually be more strict. It's a good thing because
we need it.
For real, we need it, yo. But I would say I don't necessarily run from my problems. I have a lot of basic ass issues, bro, that I deal with, and I just go through it. I just usually for problems, it's usually that's probably the only time where I ride the wave, unless I don't believe that I deserve that issue, if you know what I mean. If I know that I did that to myself, I'm gonna just ride the wave out, and just see the outcome of it. But if I know that I don't deserve this problem, this is not something I want to deal with. This is not mine. I don't want to deal with it. That's the ones where I kind of just push away and not deal with it at all.
I don't know how I feel because I do that a lot with schoolwork. I push it away, but in real life problems, I get what you mean. Why, I've done nothing to deserve this, so I shouldn't even be having to deal with it. I get it because it's not a problem that you created. It's a problem that someone else has already created for themselves, and then they want
Yeah.
to come to you. I get that, but like,
Moss. I'm not saying I like sea moss just because it's my boy. That shit is good.
She fuck with the sea moss,
Tap
yo.
in, y'all. That shit is great. It's
Tap in
worth
with
for
the sea moss.
$7. You won't regret it, man. Made Tropical Sea Moss. Go follow that on Instagram.
Tap in.
Advertisement time. Today we have Maize Tropical Sea Moss, wild crafted fruit infused sea moss, fruits and sea moss from the beautiful island of St. Lucia. And if you don't know about sea moss, man, sea moss has 92 out of 102 minerals that the body needs. Sea moss has a whole bunch of other minerals and nutritions and, you know, just like health benefits like protein, calcium, sulfur, iodine, magnesium, and that's just a few of them. Sea moss is also good for pregnant women because it gives you and the baby nutrients because it's jam packed with nutrients. You know, sea moss is also good for smokers because it removes the phlegm in your chest and your throat. It clears out your sinuses and all of that stuff. Sea moss is also good for sex, man. It could boost your sex drive. So if you're not all there, drink that sea moss. Sea moss also has way more nutrition, vitamins, minerals than any other multivitamins there is out there. Man, try Maize Tropical Sea Moss today. Wild crafted fruit infused sea moss drinks. Tap in, man. Support. Y'all already know. Commercial break.
I'd be doing that too, so I get that.
It's a thing, yo. I honestly, but what do you say? Like, how I just said what I do for myself. What would you say that when it comes to your problems? Do you think that you run away from them all the time, or is it like basically what I just said?
No, not all the time, honestly. I usually don't run away from like problems within my friends. Like I won't. I'm usually like I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up a few times. I'll be like, "How do you feel? Like what's up?" Like I I can like talk. Like I'm not. I can speak up as well. If I have a problem, I can come to you. So
Definitely.
those problems within friendships, I feel like I deal with quickly because they're my friends. I don't want to like have an underlying issue with you that starts to make me feel different or act different towards you. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
But with like relationship wise or like parents or even school, I probably will avoid it because that's like a battle that I feel like even if I'm communicating, sometimes there's no comprehension.
No,
You
that's a
know?
fact, yo.
Yeah, because for my
That's a fact.
friends, like I know I'll get at least half comprehension because they will, like, that's why they're my friends. Like, they're good people. But like with everything else, like I don't know. Like I'm kind of going in blind and I don't like that because I really don't know how much they're willing to like meet me halfway or not at all.
But does that give you the right to just not face it and just like, you know what I mean?
Well, if I'm being selfish and if I'm only thinking about myself, like for sure, just like you said, if you feel like you don't deserve the problem, you won't deal with it. You know what I mean? Like
I know what you mean.
we all have things that we immediately shut down. We don't want to deal with it and we all have our own way of going about it. And that's a lot. That is a lot because of what we've seen when we've grown up, like what experiences we've had in the past and just what we've learned from our friends and like on the media too, like as you're a child you're absorbing everything around you, so like you really are learning everything around you and some of that is not good. It's just not good.
I definitely hear that. I definitely hear that. And I think, yeah, I don't think a lot of the things that we like absorb as kids or just in general growing up are are good for us, yo. Like a lot of the shit, like I feel like a lot of people tend to run away from the problems because it kind of reminds them or just brings up old shit from the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that, I mean, we all have trauma, we all go through shit, but we should all like learn to like face our problems because they definitely come with consequences. And to just name a few, obviously the problem still exists. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You don't grow or become a better you if you don't face that problem. You like it increases negative feelings like anxiety, stress, and fear if you don't face that problem. Um, it creates even more problems such as physical and health issues for the most part. And you also isolate yourself from others because sometimes that problem does have to do with other people. So I mean, and I just to bring up something that a show that I was watching, it was is this show on Disney Plus with Chris Hemsworth, or the Thor guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was doing this stress study or whatever, and they say that like he did this one study where he spent 3 days in a nursing home, and like all the people and stuff were telling him that building strong relationships and having friends and having people who actually care about you, and like not just isolating yourself all the time, being by yourself all the time, that increases being by yourself all the time increases like health issues and dementia and all that stuff, all that bad shit when you get old. But if you build those strong relationships, you stay happy, you exercise your mind, which is the most important part of it. You end up avoiding a lot of these issues like dementia and a lot of other health problems.
Yeah, it's honestly because if you have other people around you, you don't get lost in your own head.
Yeah,
Because sometimes there's bad voices in your head, and once you get too roped in, it's really hard to detach what's real and what's not. Because honestly, like your conscience only knows you. Like whatever you feed it and whatever you tell it, that's all it knows how to react to. So if you don't have any like opposing views to what you feel, even when you don't feel like it's real, but that's just how you feel a little bit, it will like grow and grow and grow and manifest itself into your reality, you know?
yeah,
So that's
definitely.
definitely why you need like friends to ground you and friends to be able to talk to.
Yeah, it's not.
And
Yeah, I mean, I would. Is that you definitely need those type of friends, but you sometimes don't you feel like I don't know if you feel like that, but sometimes I feel like I don't necessarily like when it comes to certain issues, I cannot talk to my friends about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, or even my family. Some issues that you just have to like. Sometimes you want to speak to someone about it, but you kind of have to keep it to yourself because your friends either can't relate or they just don't want to talk about shit like that. I don't know. Like that's always the case for me.
well, if they just don't want to talk about shit like that and stuff like that, like you don't only have one friend. Like this sucks, but some people are better at one thing than another thing. Like you
No, I
might
get
have
that.
friends that you can talk to stuff about, like whatever you need to talk about with, and you might even know some people, they might not be as close to you, but you might know some people that could possibly relate to what you're talking about, you know?
Yeah.
So there's always people out there. You just have to take a chance. And that kind of leads me into saying that like we genuinely don't want to take a chance because our pride, like what if like my ego gets bruised because I get shut down or it doesn't go the way I think, and I don't want to deal with that. Like, so we're just too scared to take the chance, but sometimes it really can surprise you. And
No,
that's what I was talking about with like the voices in our heads can like be too much and we start believing it if we don't have opposing views.
no, you're right. I definitely hear that. I definitely hear that. But also sometimes for me, I feel like I tend not to like when it comes to like new people or just in general like people that I don't know. I tend not to like say my accomplishments or all my problems. I just stay neutral and just be like, tell them the simplest thing or just something that I know. Some things where and it's crazy because I'm thinking about it now and it's really the perception that people have on you. And then I have a friend who always talks about how she cares about the perception of of like people of like how people see her and shit like that. And I always tell her, I don't really care about how people see me, blah blah blah, this and that. And I'm like, I'm really thinking about it like right now. It literally just hit me that I tend to hold a lot of things back because I don't want this person to see me a certain way or to watch me a certain way because, for instance, when it came down to me telling people about like my traveling, bro, I'm a well-traveled person, but then you tell somebody that, they will think you're a cocky ass motherfucker or somebody who, you know what I'm saying? And then over the past couple of years, I have became less
Open.
vocal, yeah,
Yeah.
with my accomplishments and everything that I do in my life. I just let I kind of just do what I have to do and let that speak for itself.
But can I just say this? You kept using the word accomplishment. And an accomplishment is something you should be proud of.
Yeah, no,
So the
I'm proud
fact,
of it.
like, of course, but you're proud of it, but you're also scared to, like, vocalize it in a group because, like, you're scared of how they'll react and how, like, because you're scared that their scale of accomplishments won't measure up to yours, or they're just going to completely base you off of that one part and not, like, get to know, like, how you can back it up to your whole persona and not just that one little part of your life. But like
Yeah,
if they took the time, they would know that, and if they don't, then fuck them.
yeah, no, facts though. I definitely agree with that. It's just, yeah, sometimes I just tend not to open up and
We all like think about and worry about how other people view us, even if we don't want to believe it. Like, and in most cases, I don't, but in a lot of cases, I do because at the end of the day, like I'm a person that values other people's opinions, you know? Like I genuinely do. Like I can learn from it and I see it and I'm like pretty good at like looking at multiple sides of things. So like knowing that and knowing I value someone else's opinion, for them to have an opinion on me that I don't believe reflects me to my true potential, like
hmm,
it really hurts. And I know it really hurts because growing up, I used to think I was one thing, and my cousin and my best friend sat me down and told me, no, you're not like this. You need to work on this, 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 and this, and this, and this. And I was like, I thought I was really good with all those things. And they were like, no, like, absolutely not. And I did a lot of things. Like, for instance, like, I would make things about me when they didn't have to be instead of just listening and appreciating, like, what the other person is trying to talk to me about.
yeah.
I would like subtweet a lot when I was in high school for some reason. A lot. And they were always like, no one needs to know all of your business. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I
facts.
mean?
Yeah.
And like, those were all things I didn't think I did.
I definitely understand that because that just made me think of like this thing that I've been thinking about lately, where it's like I feel like people tend not to tell me their opinion on me because they know, because I've already vocalized in the beginning that I don't care about people's opinion and I don't care what you think about me. Malin's gonna do Malin, and that's just Malin. But then it came to a certain point where you start to like hear shit about yourself or whatever, and you be like, damn, that's what people think about me. It's like, you know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
and it's like where did y'all even get that information from, bro? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like, but now, like lately though, there's been certain people around me who I never really heard anything from, who would tell me like this and that, and I appreciate them telling me that because like you said, like sometimes you learn from other people's opinions of you and you
Mm-hmm.
realize that sometimes their opinions of you could help you. It may be just their opinion, but
Mm-hmm. But if you feel like that's something you can work on, then
exactly.
you can take from it. Like, don't let it be a knife to your heart. You can
Yeah.
literally plant the seed in and help you grow. But if you truly feel like they're just gaslighting you and they're
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
make you feel like shit and you know that's not the type of person you
No,
are, then
facts.
like
Yeah.
you gotta be strong
No,
enough to hold that.
I feel like that's me though because somebody would tell me this. I'm like, man, fuck out of here, man. This is
But
not
you
me,
gotta
bro.
listen to why they might think that
Yeah,
at the
nah,
same time and
I
see if
hear
you
that.
can pull anything
But
from that.
usually I'm just like,
Yeah.
nah, bro.
Fuck
Like,
no.
nah, bro. I don't have that issue. But I feel
You
like,
really are like that.
I mean, because bro, I like I said, I'm not really like I'm only vocal with a few people, bro. Like my mom is one of them, and even she doesn't know everything that goes on in my life. You
Yeah.
know, like and it's
I don't think no mom knows everything that's going on in their
yeah.
child's life.
But she surprisingly knows a lot. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like
I know what
she
you're saying.
actually knows a lot compared to I would say other moms out there, bro. Like I tell my mom a lot, and then that's kind of the person who I would run to with most of my problems. And you know, say like pick and choose what problems to bring to her.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes there would even be a point where the ones I don't want to bring to her, they're so bad that I actually have to bring to her. And so
And it just comes out and you can't even control it.
exactly.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you say like there's like a obviously like a good side to facing your problems?
Well, yeah.
Like could
Like
you?
we just talked about it.
I
It
mean,
helps
yeah,
you grow. It forces you to grow. It forces you to be better. And although it's scary, once you overcome it and once you do it, you realize it's something you can do over and over again. But if you do it one time and it was scary and you just focus on the scary but not the fact that you got it done and you did it good, good luck,
definitely.
man. Good luck.
Yeah. No, facts though, like because it also doing that also builds your confidence. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Facing those problems also makes you realize, oh, okay, I could do this now.
But at the end of the day, even if you can't do it and even if you do fail, you survived it.
Yeah,
Like you went
facts.
through it, you did it, and it wasn't as bad or like horrible as you made it out to be in your head, and you're still here. And it makes you realize that you could possibly face something like that again.
Facts. Definitely.
So it's just a lot. I think that people like are scared to face their problems because it causes them to be vulnerable and like they see like being vulnerable as something weak and like pitiful, but like I feel like that's the biggest strength you can have. And I've said this to like I've had multiple talks with a few of my really close friends about this, and I feel like being vulnerable and like letting someone know how you feel and like what is going on in your life that like you don't want to deal with, like just letting them in is such an act of like pure vulnerability that you just want to pull away. You don't want to feel that because it feels wrong, it feels wrong to be vulnerable. But it's the biggest strength because you're pushing past that feeling of it being wrong and you're actually genuinely like it makes you realize how hard it is to be that. So it's a sign of true strength because
Definitely.
anything that's hard to do that you should do, it's never going to be easy to do.
Of course. Of course. Anything that's worth getting or doing is never gonna be easy, yo. It's never
Mm-hmm.
gonna be easy. But that's a fact, and that I mean that also brings us into like how to stop running away from your from your difficult problems, from your problems in general, not just the difficult ones, just any problem you have.
Yeah. Bro, I have a 10-page paper that was due 2 weeks ago that I still haven't started. Due
And
2 weeks ago.
let's get into how we could stop running away from those problems. I would, and for me, I would say the first step is to like stop and like honestly like stop and think about the situation instead of like reacting and possibly overreacting to it. In other words, don't give in to the fight or flight instinct. Think about what's going on, like the
Mm-hmm.
reason you're in the situation you're in the first place, the facts about what's currently happening, like the facts about like what's currently happening, like it's already due 2 weeks away. That's a fucking fact. So all you have to do is just move on. Just obviously, just not move on, but we're gonna get into it more. But it takes a few steps before you could actually move on from it. But stop and think. Write down a list of what you have to do and an outline of the paper or something like
I'm
that.
just scared that the information that I grab won't be good enough. But that's like not true because I'm good at doing shit like that.
But I mean, that's the I don't really know. That's the thing, though. You may be scared, but you have to also realize that putting it off for 2 weeks or 3 weeks is just a short-term fix, bro, which is number two on the list. That's just a short-term fix.
Damn.
You gotta
Yeah.
escaping a problem may look like a solution,
At the
but
time, but
but
no. Yeah.
it will also catch up to you because it will
Mm-hmm.
be due at the end of the semester or some
And
shit.
then you have like six big assignments all
Exactly.
piled up.
So, escaping is just a short-term fix, and you have to always embrace the negative feelings that you have
Yeah.
and turn that into actually doing everything.
But sometimes I just drown in my negative feelings and I just completely feel hollow and empty, like I can't do anything. And I honestly let my bad wolf win some days. I feel so down and depressed, like I genuinely can't do anything about it. And then the next day I'm completely fine. But like sometimes there's hard days, and it's okay to accept those hard days and just give yourself the day when you feel like
No,
that.
facts, definitely. And then I would say, wouldn't you say that's when you embrace those negative feelings? That's the point where you move on to finding a solution to actually fixing the problem.
Yes. But sometimes I don't know what the solution is or how to fix the
But
problem.
that's why you have to find the solution, make an action plan.
How would you find the solution?
For me, I try to like, okay, this is something big I have been doing lately. I've been literally writing down things. Like when I got here from a meeting earlier, and I felt anxious because, I cleared things up in the meeting. Now I have a lot more to think about now. I was in a standstill before I got to the meeting. I got to the meeting, I cleared things up. Now I have a lot more like flowing from my head. So what I always do is I write a list of things I have to do down, send certificate, promote episode, more website stuff, record episode. Like I just write it down and do it step by step. Because if you just, when you have a fucking 50 things going through your head at once, bro, I feel
It's
like I'm
hard.
going crazy sometimes,
Yeah.
bro. So when I just write things down. That's why I have my post-it notes all over the place. I just write shit down, write it down, write it down, write it down, and do a brain dump. I
Mm-hmm.
talked about this on I'm not sure if I did, but I'm pretty sure I talked about this on one of my last episodes. One of them, I don't know which one, but listeners go look for it,
Mm-hmm.
please. But yeah, just like write shit down, bro. Don't think about it. Don't let it drive you crazy. Don't let it drive you insane. Don't let it like overpower you and
True.
burn you out.
And I need to write it down in a post-it note too because that it's in my face. I have to see it. I have to read
Exactly.
it. Like I
Especially
don't.
me, because I'm here
Yeah.
all the time. So
Yeah, you are. So it's just right there.
so
Are you done
yeah,
with all that?
I'm recording the episode right now. So like when I'm done recording the episode, then I'm gonna write another list. That's how I do it. Like I just do a brain dump of every time I have a solution of not a solution, but every time I have like a problem or I feel like I'm being overloaded by problems or solutions like because there could be solutions, I just write it down. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it easier for me. So you could make an action plan on to do that paper. Do 2 pages a day or something like that.
Something like that.
But something like that. But still, like I said, stop and think. That's one. Number two is recognize that escaping is just a short term fix, yo, and you gotta embrace the negative feelings that you get. Also, after you do that, you gotta find a solution. Finding a solution is a key plan to make an action plan. Oh, and also we talked about having support, bro. You gotta have support around you because I also brought this up to my friend. I told her like sometimes since I don't have support for this podcast, meaning like I don't have someone telling me record an episode, do this, do that. I tend to slack off sometimes. The weeks where I actually don't release episodes, for saying this, like those are not just me taking a break. That's actually me not doing nothing. That's me forgetting. Not forgetting. I always remember. I always say I gotta do this. I
Oh
gotta do
yeah,
that.
you
That's just
definitely remember. And you're sitting there worrying about it too, but you're not doing
I'm
anything
just
about it.
yeah.
That's me too.
So
Yeah.
I literally put it off, but I know that I cannot go 2 weeks without recording an episode. So I know that it's a
You know the
short-term fix.
limit.
Exactly,
Yeah,
it's a
you know the
short-term
limit
fix.
to what you can push it back to, and you will test that.
And that's why support is good though.
Yeah.
Support is really good. But some things you can't get supported, and you got to be your own support. You got to be your own stone. You got to be your own. You got to be the person telling yourself, "Get up and do this, bro."
No, you always gotta be that because no one can make you believe or think anything other than what you tell yourself that this might be what I actually believe and think. But
Facts.
people think that you're your own stone in a different way than I do, I think. Like when I think of I'm my own stone, like I don't think of a rock that's like unmoving and like stuck in one place. Like I literally think of like a beautiful like garden with like mountains to climb. Like I am my own stone because I allow myself to grow and hear new possibilities. And like, I know that no matter what comes to me, I will be able to move past it, like move up. Like, I will rock climb and get to the top.
Definitely. Now that's a fact though. Talking about like that, literally perfect segue into the next one, which is removing those negative influences. Like you said, you got to rock climb. A lot of the time,
Mhm.
you feel like you have to go through so much just to get to the point where you want to get.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of negative influences who that sometimes make it hard for you to get to that point that you want to get. And I feel like if you have people around you who know you have shit to do, you know what I mean? Like you see me stressing about something, you know I have shit to do, and and like you're kind of like just watching me fail, if you get what I'm saying. You're not telling me
Mhm.
to do this, not telling me to do it. I honestly take that as like a bad influence, bro. Like you're literally watching me fail, bro. If you are my friend or like my significant other, you're supposed to be telling me be on your shit because I do that. I tend to do that shit a lot, bro. But
Mhm.
if I see someone is not on their shit and I see you're struggling, I try my best to tell you to do like it may be hard, you may be complaining, but you still gotta do it at the end of the day, bro. So just do it, get it done. And I tend to do that a lot for people, but I sometimes don't get it back a lot.
You tend to do it a lot for a couple of times, and then by those couple of times, you're like, I've told them this enough. They should have figured it out by themselves. And
But
it's like this is an
but that's
ongoing
for a
issue.
reason though.
Yeah, but you do the same shit though. Do you know that? Like, you have days, like you said, you have weeks where you slack off, and like we should be on your ass. We should be telling you, like, you should do it anyway, make the podcast anyway. But like some days I give you your week because I know you'll do it next week, and I know this is a pattern for you.
Yeah.
That you're like, you have already told yourself that this pattern is okay for you to be into and get into. So you will do it no matter what I tell you to say and
Facts.
do.
Facts.
And you do the same thing, and you don't always tell me to get on my shit, and I slack too.
I mean, I know that, but I mean, sometimes I definitely get that, but sometimes I feel like I don't do that when I'm going through like my own shit, when I have my own shit to worry about. I tend to just block other people's problems out because I have my own problems going on.
And that's okay, but you just have to accept that sometimes other people can do that too, and you have to be okay with it. Because on the days that they're not like telling you stuff, but they usually do, those might be their rough days, and they might be blocking you out, you know?
I get that. I definitely get that. But, you know, I would say the last solution to not running away from your problems is to like stick to your plan. Always stick to the plan that you made before so that you know that when something goes off, you won't panic and run away from that problem or just put it off, just not deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, write shit down.
Okay, so on that, I feel, whoa, 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 whoa. I wrote shit down. Okay, so sometimes I don't want to deal with my problems because I just don't know why I don't want to do it, you know? Sometimes I don't want to do it because like I don't want to do it, but I don't know why I want to do it, if that makes sense. But it's really important to figure out why you don't want to do certain things and deal with certain problems. Because like
Facts.
for me, like rejection, I don't wanna face rejection. Like I hate being told no. Like I hate being told no with a passion.
But why
But it's
though?
okay.
That's part of
Yeah,
life.
it is okay. But like personally, like if I'm already worried about talking to you about something, I definitely don't want to hear a no, and that will definitely persuade me not to talk to you and even bring it up and avoid it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that comes from, like, I'm not gonna lie, that comes from never being able to like please my parents growing up, like with my grades or like whatever I do. They're always like, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need this, you need to be like her, like she does this, like blah blah blah. And I could never satisfy them no matter what. So I fear rejection a lot, and that's like a childhood trauma. You have to figure out why you don't do certain things, because that is the only way you can truly heal. Because like now that I know it's because of that, that's why I'm scared. I can work on that, and I can tell myself that that's not true. Like you are good enough, you are worthy, like you are trying your best, and that should be valuable and that should be worth something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But like if you don't know that's the reason, you can't tell yourself that and you can't ever move on.
You saying that just made me think about like moving to America at 10 years old.
Mhm.
That's usually the time when what you teach a child has to be stuck in a child. You know what I'm saying? That's the time where
Mhm.
you like, like the things that a child knows from you, that's usually the times where they keep it, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, that's where they learn their
yeah,
behavior. Like,
and
yeah.
usually in their teenage years, some of it will kind of break off. But because I kind of feel like I moved up here at 10, and
Mhm.
I learned a lot from my mom growing up, but I moved up here at 10, and I feel like I kind of broke away from that feeling of having to always please someone but myself. I
Mhm.
definitely want to make my mom proud of my accomplishments and being in school and graduating and doing, just every accomplishment that I do. I definitely want to make
Mhm.
make my mom proud about it. But I feel like I honestly feel like sometimes bro, I'm literally doing this for myself. Not sometimes, like I feel like I'm doing this for myself, and there's times where I really don't give a shit about pleasing them because there's this thing where she used to do, and I always tell her don't do that, which like I always, she says she never did it, but like comparing,
Yeah.
like I don't like to be compared, bro. I'm me and I will do me. And that's why I tend not to, if you feel like this is what you want, go find it someplace else, bro, because I am not gonna give it to you, bro. I I definitely want to make you proud, but I don't have to please you with everything I do. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to
Mhm.
do that. I definitely don't have to do that.
Well, yeah, you're allowed to fuck up and make mistakes.
Facts.
My parents just never accepted those mistakes. So,
Shit.
uh,
Oh shit. Move a little bit
I'm
closer.
gonna fall. My face every time this falls is like gonna be
Okay. Move a
hilarious.
little bit closer. Move a little bit closer. I feel like this camera wasn't getting you. But I but honestly, yeah, running away from your problems, it's a big thing, and I feel like yeah, we just honestly like the conclusion on what we're saying is just face your problems,
Even if it's hard,
even when it's hard. Running away from them is just for a short period of time. It's a quick
it's a short
fix.
term fix.
It's
It doesn't last,
honestly
and it
so
just adds to it.
adds more anxiety, stress, just everything that you're like trying to avoid, everything that you shouldn't want to have in your life.
And it's about habit. You're so used to doing that, you have made yourself okay with feeling the anxiety and stress that comes with not doing it, because in 2 weeks you'll finally get yourself to do it and it'll be all fine. But like, why
Exactly.
suffer for 2 weeks? Just get it done.
That's a fact though. Why suffer for that time when you're putting it off? That's a good way to think about it. So problems, man, problems. Face
Mm.
them. They're there for a reason. They're there to teach you stuff. They're there to make you a better person.
But you
And
gotta be willing to learn from them.
yeah, that's a fact. Don't just fix them and
Don't think someone's pointing daggers at you when all they're trying to do is just help you understand a different perspective. Like,
facts.
not everything that someone says is to spite you or against you. Like, sometimes people genuinely do point out things because they want to see you grow and be a better person. Don't
No,
take it as hatred.
that's a fact. And that's why, when it comes to um opening up and vocalizing what's going on, you got to try your best to get to that level of vocalization and opening up about things that bother you, because the more you keep it inward, it's gonna be like it's gonna be an explosion when it's actually time to bring it out. So just open up.
Yo, that word vomit when it's time, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It really is. And at that point, like if you let it build up so much, sometimes you won't be able to regulate your emotions when you finally do it. Like in an argument, like if you let an argument sit and you don't work it out, like when you finally get to that point, like you have overthought it so much for like the past whatever. Like you've overthought every single thing that they're thinking they could say, and it's like, bruh. And then you think about what you could have said, and
Facts.
it's just like by the point when it's time, you're just so mad. You're just so mad, and you say every single possibility, and you like say it as if any possibility that they choose is okay when it's not. So like,
Exactly.
it's crazy.
So
regulate your emotions by dealing with it then and there.
definitely. So definitely do that. Definitely do that. I feel like this is a good episode for people who, I don't know, it's just for everybody. Matter of fact, it's not even a group of people, and that's kind of what this show is about. It's for everybody. It's called the Everything and Anything podcast, and I don't really have a niche. I cater for everyone. You know what I'm saying? So this is a good one to just listen to and think about. Think about
Growth.
your habits and growth. Facts, growth. But guys, I think this will be it for this episode. This was a good one with my guest Pregna. I appreciate having her on this episode today.
Thank you for having me on this episode today.
Definitely. And this is the Everything Anything podcast. You already know this is the most unprofessional podcast out there. No set agenda, no set design. We pretty much just get it done, We pretty much just do it. Don't forget to check out our Instagram. But before I even go there, you gotta always remember this podcast is to spark the mind, make you laugh a little, and also to make you wonder about the things you thought you knew. So don't forget to check out our Instagram, my website. Everything's in the link in the bio, in the description. Matter of fact, not in the bio, but link in the bio too in the Instagram. So check that out. Leave a like, a review,
Comment, share.
You know what I'm saying? Everything. Just show some love. And we always got a question of the week on my Instagram. Don't forget to
I like
interact.
that. I've been liking those.
Yeah, I think like I just want to hear what people got to say. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about? How do you feel about the issues and stuff that I talk about? Yeah. So I always try to like keep my guests interested and interact with my guests. So man, interact with me too. So yeah. Any last words?
No. I will keep talking and we'll be here for another 30 minutes.
Nah, so just always remember, face the problems and don't run away from them. But have a good one. Peace.